Who gives this woman to be married to this man? Her mother and I. I did a wedding one time, and this guy was not a good speaker. He didn't want to speak in front of people. He was scared to death. It was the father of the bride. And so we went over it and over it. Here's your one line. It's 4 words. I remember thinking it's 4 words. 4. Her mother and I. Her mother and I. Rehearsal dinner, the whole afternoon before the wedding. This father's walking around, her mother and I, her mother and I, her mother and I. Rehearsing his 4 words. We get to that place in the ceremony. I look at him. You got this? I know you got it. Who gives this woman to be married to this man? He looks straight at me and says, my mother and I. You had one line. Moses' kids never saw the Red Sea part. You know, it reminds me of a story when I was in seminary. This student, I heard about this student, so I wasn't there when it happened, but I heard about this student. We had this liberal professor, and he was always trying to explain away the miracles in the Bible. I don't know why. He just always say, now science tells us, and da-da-da. And he just tried to explain away. And this student would argue with him, who was real conservative. He'd gotten saved like I had out of a bad background and drugs and all that stuff. And he just believed the Bible like I did. You know, if the Bible says it's true. You know, I mean, what would be too hard for God? And so he would argue with the professor. And finally he realized, I'm not going to get anywhere. I'm just going to quit arguing. So the professor one day is explaining the crossing of the Red Sea. And he said, now we know through science and history that at this time it was drought stage for the Red Sea. And so where the Israelites crossed, it was only about 6 inches deep. So it wasn't that great of a miracle. And this student went, ha! Like that. He just couldn't hold it anymore. Ha! And the professor said, you know, I'm tired of you questioning science. He said, why are you doing that when I said this wasn't that great of a miracle? He said, I wasn't laughing because you said it wasn't that great of a miracle. He said, it actually makes it more of a miracle to me. And he said, well, why would it make it more of a miracle that they crossed the Red Sea when it was only 6 inches deep? He said, because the whole Egyptian army drowned in only 6 inches of water.